Hey everyone. Today in the Whole Story Devotional, we're going to talk about Colossians 3 and 4. And specifically, Colossians 3, verse 17. It says, "And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him." And as I read this, it reminded me of an article that I read on ESPN a couple of years ago about a quarterback in the NFL who had come out of the best year of his life. Played incredibly well, set a bunch of records. His team won the Super Bowl. And then that offseason, to reward him for that, his team gave him this massive contract, more money than I could ever imagine. But the article was actually written in the year after that year. And the guy, the quarterback, was not playing very well. And so the article was trying to ask the question of why. Why was he not playing well? And so they threw out the idea in the interview of, well, are you injured? And he said, no, my body feels great. I'm doing fine. Feel like I'm in great shape. They asked, well, you lost a couple people in the offseason from your team. Is it your team? And he said, no, I have a great team around me and we play really well together. And so they finally just got to the point where they asked, well, why? Why do you think you're not playing as well? And his answer was that in the years prior to getting that contract, he said, I loved football. The whole reason I played was about the love of the game. And when I worked out, I thought about how much I loved football. In the hard times, when we were down 20 or whatever points during the season, I thought about how much I loved football after those hard losses. And it got me through it. It pressed me on. And anything that I did, it was because I loved football. But when I got that contract, it became about the money. And it was harder for me to think about how much I loved football because I had to maintain a style of play and a level of play so that I deserved that money. I deserved that contract and I deserved the status of being a superstar in the NFL. And I think about how often is that us as Christians, that so often we shift our focus where there's so many times where we love God and we love Jesus and there's so much excitement in that. And it can sustain you through what you do and so many times. And then we shift our focus. And our focus becomes the things that creep in the world of money troubles or a relationship or anything that really can take our time, our comfort. And it becomes the shift in our focus off of Jesus and the love of Jesus that he offers us, that he loved us first. And when we love him, he sustains us through all of those things. And yet when we shift our focus, it becomes so much harder to do the things that we do. And that's really my question based off Colossians 3 and 4 becomes why? What is your why behind what you do? Because we look at that quarterback and his why was the love of the game. He just was passionate about doing these things. And yet when it shifted to money, the money was not able to sustain what he was doing. So his why of money wasn't big enough to sustain his what of playing football. And in Matthew 7, Jesus says that that's us, that we are doing these things. We're building houses. And so every little thing that we do in this life, no matter what it is a plank in this house that we're building. And Jesus says that as we build our houses, we have two options. Either you're going to build your house on the sand, and the sand is, when you walk on it, yeah, okay, it can push back, it can sustain you, but when you build that full house on it, it's going to sink and it's going to crumble. And that's the things of this world, the influence, the power, the prestige, the comfort, the money, whatever it is, the things of this world that tries to offer us the pleasures, they can't sustain what we do in our lives. They can't bring us joy. But Jesus gives this second option of you can build your house on the rock, on the solid foundation of Jesus Christ and the Word of God. And he is the one who, no matter how you're building, all these things that you do, whatever he calls you to do as you put these planks into place, he will sustain you. He will hold you up. And Jesus doesn't ask us to do anything that he hasn't already done. Hebrews 12 says that Jesus, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of God. And in that, we see that this life, it's going to be hard, that there's so many things going on. And as we build our house, there's going to be storms that rage against us and things that hit and delay our process, that it's a reality that life gets hard. And yet Christ went before us and he saw the joy of glorifying God the Father, the joy of salvation for those that he loved, for us. And he endured the cross, even saying that he scorned its shame and scorned the pain of the cross. And so take heart that in our lives, we can follow Christ, that he offers us that same joy, that if we're willing to put the weight of what we do on the why of Jesus Christ and his love for us, that our house will stand no matter what storm comes. Jesus is the foundation that can sustain everything.